What if the reason that you're stuck isn't because you didn't take the right course, you didn't read the right book, you didn't listen to the right podcast? What if the reason that you're stuck is because deep down you're afraid of what happens once you actually achieve the thing? What if you're afraid of the responsibility, the attention it'll bring, the expectations that'll be placed upon you after you hit that next level? What if that's the reason that you're stuck? I know for years I have been, I've built an identity. Like really, it's just the story I've told myself that I was going after the thing, right? I've never saw myself actually achieve the goal. It always felt comfortable trying. It always felt comfortable starting over. It always felt comfortable just going after it rather than stepping into it. Okay. So what if that's happening to you? I have 5 telltale signs that this really might be happening to you. And I'm going to use me as an example, and hopefully you can find your story in this and then now take that leap and go to the next level. Okay. So who am I? My name is Malcolm Bowser. I've been an entrepreneur for the past 8 years. I've run a business with my family. We've reached over $1.2 million in revenue. And I say that, and the reason why I say that now before all my videos is because for years, anytime I did business content, I would leave a lot of that stuff out. And it's because for some reason internally it felt like it wasn't real, or wasn't a real win that I could actually talk about, right? People had to tell me like, yo, Mal, you've done some great things. Why not talk about it? And it just felt like, maybe I'm being braggadocious. Maybe I don't want to let my ego get involved in things. Maybe I'm just like, maybe it's because, I don't really feel like a real entrepreneur because I'm doing it with my family. If I was doing it by myself, maybe it'd feel like real, right? I've told myself all of these things, but it always felt comfortable just downplaying my own success. It felt comfortable just being that person striving. Like anytime I see somebody that I know, yo, Michael, how's the business going? It's hard. Even though entrepreneurship and business can have its ups and downs, peaks and valleys, I think I've built an identity around, the valleys. I've built an identity around struggle instead of building an identity around what I've done and who I am and what I know I can do and what I know I can achieve. A lot of people have done that. There are a lot of ambitious people who have all the pieces to the puzzle, but they get to the point where they just need to place that one piece in. For some reason, they lose the piece before they can put it down and complete the puzzle. For some reason, they've been building this piece of furniture. They have all the pieces. They have an actual manual that let them know, hey, do this, do this, do this. And right before they, put the last screw in, they lose the little screw somewhere. It's under their kid's toy box and they can't find it. They lose the screwdriver. The instruction manual gets ripped. They dog ate it or something. It's always something that when they get to that point, right, and they get to that point to break through, they go back down and they start all over. And to most people, that is devastating. They might have to start all over again, and I can't. It's gonna be another year. It's gonna be another 2 years. But for some people who are afraid of success, that is comfortable. That is where they like to be. That always being in the trying, never in the accomplishing. Always being in that phase of of attempting something or building something. They love building. I loved building, right? Because it felt like I didn't do it right the first time. Now I can do it right. Now I can be successful in that thing because now I have all the pieces. Now I took that course. Now I have that piece of information. I have that tactic that's going to put me over the next level now. And then I get to the top, right? I'm staring at it. I'm at the place where this is all going to happen, right? Where I'm going to hit that next level. And the reason why I keep saying next level and not the level, because there's always different levels that we want to achieve. There's always something after that, right? And I'm not talking about moving the goalposts and delaying your happiness. I'm not talking about that. That's another video for a different time. What I'm talking about is being afraid of success. What I'm talking about is getting to that point and then self-sabotaging yourself and and secretly you want to fail secretly because one, that kind of validates all the story that you keep telling yourself, right? You tried, right? And maybe you tried really really hard, but maybe you didn't try, maybe you didn't really leave it out on the field, but you tried really hard. So you pat yourself in the back and you say, all right, maybe next time, right? Maybe the next time it'll work out, and that's fine. And people around you, they see you trying. They can't say you're being lazy. They can't say that you're doing nothing. They see you going after it. But maybe you're afraid of what they'll say about you once you get to that point. Maybe you're afraid of the person that you'll have to become to get to that point, right? And here are some signs that you're probably doing this as well. Okay, so the first one is you love long-term goals, but you hate the urgent action, right? You love putting stuff out 2 and 3 years in advance because that long runway makes you feel safe. It makes you feel like I don't have to become anybody different. I don't have to change any habits right away. I don't have to change my mind state right away. I don't have to change anything about myself, about my identity yet, right? So that's fine. I can still be the same person and do the same things while going after the goal, right? So maybe that's you, right? Here's another one. You bury yourself in coaching and courses and podcasts and books, and you keep changing up, right? You keep changing up the goal based on, these things that you're watching, these people that you're listening to, and that feels okay. That feels comfortable, right? First, you had to go to do this. You listen to this person, and they said, nah, that's not the way to do it. Do this. And you go, okay, cool. I can start all over again. I can buy a brand new course. I could buy a brand new book and start this process all over again, because now it takes away any excuse. Because the thing I was trying, he told me it didn't work. My coach told me that wasn't the way. He told me it was this way. So now I need to do this. So now I need to start all over again. Let me know if that's you. Okay? And you're hoping for this magical fix, this magic tactic that'll set you over the top, when you know all the things you need to do. You have all the skills. You just don't do it. Okay? Next one, I know I'm guilty of. Okay? You downplay your wins. I've downplayed my wins for years because for some reason it wasn't it. For some reason, right? My business made 7 figures, but that was revenue, wasn't profit, so I can't really talk about that, right? Or I'm not a real entrepreneur because I'm doing it with my family. My dad is an amazing entrepreneur, and maybe I'm just with him. My stepmother is amazing at what she does. Maybe I'm just with her. I'm just support. I'm just the glue here. Like, I don't know, right? And these are all things I've told myself. These are all things I've told myself to just kind of downplay who I am, right? But when I talk to other people and help them with their business, like this, like to the point where I've given free consultations and people have paid me, even though it was free. They said, Michael, you've given me so much just now. Take this, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I do know something, right? Maybe I do know a little something. I've helped people make their first $10,000 in their business, right? But it still feels like, but they could have looked that up anywhere. Like what I told them, it wasn't special, right? They could have got that from Chat GPT, right? They could have got that from somebody else, from another YouTube channel, right? The information I gave them wasn't that special, right? I'm not that special, right? I've downplayed my wins. You probably are downplaying some of your wins and not even realizing it. Not even realizing that is just you self-sabotaging, you being in a comfort zone, not stepping into your greatness, right? And this is another sign that you're doing it. You over prepare and you under execute. So you have all the pieces that you need. They're all there, right? The box of furniture, the dresser came in a box in the mail from Amazon, and you set out all the pieces on on the living room floor, and you tell your family, hey, step back, don't touch that. I'm about to put this thing together, right? And for some reason you don't do it. For some reason you get to that last part and you lose the little screw that holds everything together, right? And you can't go forward with this. For some reason you lose the instruction manual, right? Your dog ate it, you got water on it, spilled, ink ran, and you don't have it anymore. Like, for some reason there's a way that you don't hit that next level. You get right to the point, to the point, and then you go right back down, and you're okay with that. Okay. And lastly, you are constantly building but never launching. You love writing the book, but you're terribly afraid of putting it out. You love creating the course, but you don't want anybody to see it. You love having the product, but you don't want to talk to strangers and get people to see what you have to buy and actually launch this thing and put it out to the world. Because building feels good. Building feels safe. Building is comfortable. For some people that takes them, even building something is a stretch for them. But you've been building before. You've been building all this time, but you have not launched, because the idea of trying is better than feels better than to you. Feels better than stepping out into the world. It feels better than becoming successful, being that person. Let's just be clear. These are not signs of laziness either. These are signs of fear masked as productivity. I've been there. You could probably have been there, where you feel busy. You're doing stuff, right? But you're never actually making any real progress. You're never actually getting to that next point. But you're doing stuff. You're taking calls. You're building your website. You have a really, really pretty website. You got, your business cards, or, you want to lose weight. So you got all of the gym equipment. You put all of that together. You have all your clothes set out, right? You have all the supplements ready, but you never wake up and actually put a workout in. You never actually put enough workouts together to where something sustainable can happen, because you are afraid of success. You're not afraid of failure. What you're afraid of is what success might take from you. Your comfort zone, the identity that you have created in yourself, the identity of always trying to lose weight, always trying to build a business. You're afraid of losing that story that you keep telling yourself. I know for me, I've built an identity around just being a struggling entrepreneur, of always going forward. Like, hey, this entrepreneur stuff is hard, man. And going forward, I've always, I've have been telling myself this underdog story. I've been playing, believe it or not, and this is a confession, then don't judge me, but I've been playing my own podcast episode in my ear on where I finally achieved the thing, and I'm telling them about the entire struggle, right? And while there has been some ups and downs in my journey, that can't be your identity. That can't be who you choose to become. Become that person. Become that person who reaches the goal. Become that person who does the thing. Become that person. And as I'm talking to you, I'm talking to myself as well. And those are wise words from somebody who is, really, really smart. And they've always said that they've dropped some jewels. Like, hey, I'm talking to you, but I'm talking to myself as well. So that's what I'm doing here. All right. So think about this. Success, it doesn't take, necessarily, it expands, right? It gives you options. It gives you freedom. It gives you growth, but you are resisting, and you can't resist it. Okay. You have to stop resisting it and just kind of step into it. Let it flow. Open the door, open that final door. And then you're going to see there's going to be other doors after that one, but get there first, right? Get there first. All right. So there's this book I've been reading that kind of helped me think about the story I was telling myself, my self-image, and it's called Psycho-Cybernetics. Really powerful book. I can't recommend it enough. Like it is really, and it's what a lot of these self-help books and the business books have all really come from. This is kind of like one of the first books that kind of started the self-help, self-transformation, personal development. Then this book, psycho-cybernetics, is really, really good. I can't recommend it enough. All right. But I realized in reading this that I created this identity around struggle, around trying, right? Around always being right there and something holding me back. And, no more of that. Okay. I'm rewriting my own self image to myself and stepping into who I am and who I know myself to be based on the proof, based on what I've done, based on what I'm doing. So I invite you to do the same thing. Rewrite your story. Tell your own self a better story about yourself, right? And if this is hit for you, write in the comments just two words that this is hit. No fear. Just write that in the comments, and I'll know that this is hit for you. All right. So my name is Malcolm. Thank you for this. If you have business aspirations for yourself and you just don't know when you can fit time into it, I have my part-time business starter guide. It's completely free. It's in the link and it's in the comments below. And I will see you on the next one. Don't forget to subscribe. I would really appreciate it if you subscribe. And if you know somebody in your life that this can resonate for, share this to them. Share this and let them become who they are meant to be. Let them stop being afraid of who they're meant to be and let them step into their greatness. All right. So my name is Malcolm. Peace.